Oh, the way he runs at you. Oh, you son of a bitch. Like, what am I supposed to do? Before I show you what I think to be the best way to play Madison on PlayStation VR2, I truly do, I have to talk about the graphics, sound, the effects, everything, just really quick without showing any spoilers, but giving you a taste, a flavor, as to what to expect when you go to play this. Look at that, guys. Awesome. In this light, you can see the textures on the hands way better. Oh, that's beautiful. Ah, looks so realistic, that wall. Man. Well done, guys. I made a point of not watching any trailers about this game whatsoever, knowing it's touted as the scariest game of all time. Jumping into this thing, man, right away, the moment you enter, you're in the dark, and then this dude's pounding on the door beside you frantically. It's your dad yelling about, how could you do this?
What in the hell crossed your mind?
And just that sound, just that environment, just that feeling of tension, really off-putting in a great way. You feel distressed or whatever, you're just already freaking out and you have no idea what to do because they just throw you in with no instruction, which I love. And this is where I'm going with it. The reason why I think this is the best way to play, immediately I'm going to say, is play the game on hard. That's what I did. Didn't even touch normal. I'm going to show you a few examples right now. As you're seeing, there's this white hand that goes above each object, or like a magnifying glass, whatever it is. It instantly points out in the room what the points of interest are. So really, you know what you can interact with within a few feet of just approaching it. Yeah, very cool. Go down here and I grab this. There we go. Now I can grab it. See how it's showing the hand there? It's telling me I can grab that. Oh, don't like that. See how it has the hands there? Oh, I don't like that. That's why I want it on hard. Normal is very similar to hard, but we have harder enemies. Some sort of photography zone, which I never actually saw. I didn't see any glowing area or highlighted spot, so I don't know what that's about yet. And then obviously no hints in hard mode versus visual hints in the other, and I think that's what those are, visual hints. So yes, I have to say, man, you do not need to have any of those visual hints, because when you do approach the area, you use your right hand, legit like a sight on a gun. The dot right here is the HUD essentially in hard mode, where I roll over an area and then it expands to an O or a circle. But you can see the icon in normal mode right there, and you would know to hit the right trigger because it was a flat screen game before.
Wasn't there a door?
And then the dialogue's triggered. So it says locked though. Oh, come on. See? You can totally see a symbol when you know you can interact with it. See? If I use my thumb and point, it's not showing a circle. Oh, yes it is.
I don't think I can reach that.
Okay.
It's too high up.
So the HUD's already still there in hard mode. It really is. You're just not going to see a floating white hand do this animation like, come grab me. If anything, you go and investigate yourself and go to grab the object. And it's just rewarding, honestly. So remember, this game was flat screen to begin with. They did an incredible port, honestly. They really did. Magic. Amazing. I can't imagine playing this on flat screen, let alone, honestly, just saying Quest or anything like that. Not using the PSVR2 headset. So because of this game, even though I've played other games that are in the dark, this is the one that really made me feel scared. In the dark. Here we go. Wish me luck, guys. Okay, grabbing the only thing I have for light. Oh, and that sound is just... Oh! My eyes are watering a bit. When you look down this hallway, it's so dark, but you just see the faintest light coming through those windows, man. Oh! It legit feels like pitch black, like literally putting you in a closet in the dark with no light whatsoever peeking through. That rubber gasket, whatever you call it, that thing that shields the light on PSVR2 is amazing when you're using the camera and you're just taking a picture. The flash, again, back to the OLED display, all the lights and the darkness, the HDR. I talk about other games having real sunlit effects like Resident Evil and stuff. This one, man, when you're in the dark and you're using a Polaroid camera to light up the area, every time you click that button, oh, I'm insured. Oh, every time that sound, that camera, yeah, I cannot see in front of me. Not only do you hear that wicked sound effect, you have that true flash like that. It just lasts with your eyes in real life. Somebody blinding you for a second. Oh. Taking a picture of the door freaked me out. Really plays with your head, man. And then the audio honestly really does help. This was beyond what we call an experience. Again, I have to say, an assault on the senses. And, you know, if you're into that, which I am, you know, in VR, absolutely, I want to push that envelope. If we had a B-haptic suit setting, I would use it. Even though you don't need it, you feel as if somebody is grabbing you. It's that startling. Yeah, it's awesome. It's so crazy. Do know this isn't for everybody, yet I want everybody to play this game. I really do. It's going to show you, man, what VR does over flat screen. I mean, it's night and day. Oh, shit. That's... oh, that was great. Oh, what is that? What is that? Oh, dude, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Oh my god, my fucking... oh, hello. He's gonna run right at me. Oh, man. I have to go close to that shit? Whew. Okay, so... I'm just standing here, man. I'm telling you. I know it's fake. I know it's not real. I'm still, the chills are still getting stronger. Wow. Oh, man. Oh, you son of a bitch. You're gonna jump at me. So yes, the theme of the game, aside from being in the game and being terrified, the theme of the game is really adding to the whole flavor. You know, it's stuff that I actually believe in when it comes to the paranormal. But yeah, they did this so well. They did their research on the topic.
In most instances, the demon's relentless objective is to get back to the world of the living.
Oh boy, so the theme of the game, interesting. Wasn't sure about that. So I have avoided watching movies such as The Exorcist and stuff just because. Just cause it's a little too real for me. Not that this game is, I'm just saying the idea of. So yeah, wow, talk about cranking the fear factor up. Oh boy. When it comes to the controls, just everybody on the default setting, not showing you my controls yet, we'll get to that at the end of the video. There is touch sensitivity. It's only actually on your thumbs, your joysticks, and the face buttons. The cross, square, triangle, and circle button. It's really weird. I'm just lightly touching the buttons, and then when I put more pressure on the button without pushing down on it, I don't know how to describe that. I can feel my skin just slightly go down. And it actually adds that thumb pressure down without me pressing the button. I'm not actually pushing the button down. Crazy. Nothing on the triggers and nothing on the grip buttons whatsoever. But in game, there is no function for the touch sensitivity. It's not like when I go to grab my camera that I drop the camera by releasing my finger on the grip button. So I think it's just there, but your actual index finger and your middle fingers don't have any touch sensitivity on the trigger or the R1, L1 buttons. But not necessary, again, totally not necessary. The inventory, it did have some wonkiness in the very beginning, and they have patched this game since. A few times, actually. Now in the inventory, you can change the speed of the scroll if you want to. I was just using my body to turn around always to grab the item. I do wish there was some sort of backpack, briefcase, something that you could, you know, physically go into and grab, making it more immersive. But I get it. This was a flat screen game, and they did an amazing job of it, porting it. The headset haptics are so well done, and during the narration, it's kind of like a cinematic. It's not. You're always in the game. It doesn't take you off. But when the head is legit throbbing, when you're going through this experience, and your ears are ringing at the same time, I've never felt something like that before in VR. Oh, the haptics are slowly vibrating. Oh, you can see it shaking. I hope. Look, that's the headset. That's not a screen effect. That little jarring motion. Right on, man. So this 3D audio in the game is really well done. It's not perfect, but it's really well done. And what I mean by that is hearing somebody run around in the hallways upstairs, or something behind you, a door creak, some sort of thud, you know, a glass break, whatever. When you're hearing that and it actually alarms you, I do think it's so well done. Totally suits the atmosphere. What I'm saying is it's not perfect. There are a couple sound effects I did hear. One in particular I'm showing you right here. Wow, even... It's weird that door opening sound is so high pitched. I don't know, it just seems a little too fake, but it's alarming. That's what they're going for. That felt like it was a recording and cranked up. It didn't feel like it was real. It was just like way too loud and way too in my face. So that was weird. just a little bit of weirdness. Because again, everything was so immersive, man. So perfectly immersive. And then I heard just one audio clip that was a little too fake sounding. The music, man, throughout the entire game is this steady tension. Without you realizing it, over time, your shoulders just start to get pulled up. You can't help it. You feel your survival instincts kick in because you're always on edge. And that's what I meant by assault on the senses. You never know when it's coming. You can anticipate certain things. You can, actually. But not exactly when it's happening. Even when you're anticipating, it doesn't matter. It's that good.
Oh! Yeah, that's awesome! Even though I totally anticipated. Oh my god. Oh, that is so good.
So even though I complained about the audio clip, the one clip, I'm complaining because everything is so masterfully done. Even the audio in general, but the way they use sound, the way they use it to scare you. I even attempted after beating the game, I'm going to take my headphones off and go through some of the scenes. And yeah, it totally didn't jar me the exact same way that it would. The frame rate in the game is fantastic. So smooth, so clean. Everything is so sharp that when there was a little hiccups, and I do believe it has to do with a flat screen port to, VR port, when I was actually, if this is the object, the table, and my head goes over to look at something, it would have this stutter effect, a really jarring stutter effect. So it's like I can actually stand beside the object and then look around fine, but the moment I put my body over top of it, that to me was the most immersion breaking thing out of the entire game. But I do wish they utilized the eye tracking in a way that at the end of the game, they gave you a stat to show you how often you closed your eyes, because it could actually detect if you're blinking or holding your eyes shut during a scene. And I do think there should have been some sort of trophy associated with that, man. How cool would that be? The only game I actually closed my eyes, and I'll admit, is in Resident Evil 8 when you're going to the elevator and that baby scene, you're hitting that button and you can hear it behind you. I remember staring at the elevator instead of turning around and looking at it come at me. I should have done it. But yeah, I couldn't. I mean, I was paralyzed. Just. Whereas in this game, I made a point going, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to look at what I'm being attacked by. And wow, so taxing. That's the way to describe it. When I say assault on the senses, that's what I mean. If you had any heart problems, it will exhaust you playing this. That was awesome. That was awesome. Oh, shit. That never gets old either. Let me out of here, man. It's so hard to describe. Such an energy drain, but such an amazing stimulation. I've never felt this before in any video game. Truly, it's just so uniquely awesome and different. I'm trying so hard not to speak to certain things. He's so straight left, right. You're not gonna stop me. Straight left. Do not watch other live streams if you plan on playing it. Do yourself that favor. Know as little about it as possible. So aside from that shifty collision I was just speaking to when you're standing over top of an object, the other complaint or gripe I have, I don't think it's going to change. I don't believe they'll ever patch it. And I don't think many of you will even talk about it or care about it because it's not game breaking. But for me, I noticed it pretty much right in the beginning of the game. Just like Resident Evil 4, not 8. When you have your flashlight out and you're pointing at a wall, you can still be facing right up to a wall and it's showing you a cone of light in the pitch black, yet when you back up, it's not present and nothing's lit here, even when you have your flashlight pointing in another direction. Same deal in this game. So I could be walking down a very dark hall where you can't see anything, but if I get right to the end of the hallway, I can see the wall and it just lights up that area and I can see the floor perfectly.
All right, here we go, guys. That door looks awesome. Yes. So it's weird. It's like I do have a flashlight on my head, but I don't. Like, why do I have a cone of light as I approach a door? I'm guessing so you can see what you're doing, but... So that was my one gripe. I'm like, oh man, everything's so perfectly pitch black. Just make me use a different candle, torch, light, or whatever, flashlight, something, versus just having that ability to see in the corner. So yeah, man, like out of all things, that's what I'm complaining about. And the third one, it's being fixed, so I'm not really complaining about it, but I do have to bring awareness to this. It was a problem in the beginning when you're grabbing drawers. Your hand would go through the drawer, it's trying to grab it, pull it out, all this other stuff. Because again, the game was meant to just hit a button, interact, and it pops open the door. It didn't... There, I grabbed it. Okay, excellent. But yeah, those drawers right now for me, when I played it again recently, I didn't feel any really wonkiness. Speaking to which, here are the patch notes really quick that I was able to collect on Reddit. So I don't know if this is the official patch notes, but in this note it says they did add a global map fall fix, which I did experience. I was on one of the hallway floors and I fell into the basement one time and I was like, what? I had to reload. So apparently that's been fixed. Fixed issue in BK section. I can't speak to that. I don't know what that is, and it's redacted there for some reason. Maybe it's a spoiler. Inventory rotation speed option. You know, I didn't have a problem with it. I was using my body to turn, but yes, now you can adjust the speed of the rotation. And the next big one is they fixed an issue that would be unsolvable if you're using an item in your inventory. There's a puzzle. It's called the solar puzzle, solar medallion. And then there's a certain thing you have to do in order. What happens is, if you didn't take one of the pieces out and put it in your inventory first and then grab it out again, it wouldn't recognize that switch. That's been fixed. Huge problem. So cool they solved it. And that was another major complaint, me included, when I first played the game, right when it launched, is that you couldn't actually walk around with objects even, with something in your hand. Whereas now they fixed that. The grandfather clocks, when they'd appear, you'd try and interact with them essentially, and it wouldn't work. Whereas now they automatically interact, and that's very cool that they fixed that. Increased arm break distance, much more difficult to get your hand through regular doors now. So fixed for drawers and cabinets coming soon. Just what I spoke about, how it didn't work perfectly when you're grabbing things, but now it's getting better and better to the point that I don't feel it's breaking the game. It did feel broken in the beginning. And then again, yeah, I just spoke to it. Added ability to move with all inventory items. Also too, they changed the scroll option in the inventory. Instead of left or right, it was conflicting with your turning, which again, I don't use my right stick to do that. It is now up and down, so it's a little bit easier. I want everyone to experience this game because it feels like a AAA experience. It really does. Like top production, just the right amount of time. You know, people have said they beat it in 5 or 6 hours. You can beat it in like under 2.5. There's a trophy for that, which is crazy. Once you know what you're doing, it does make sense because you know the puzzles and stuff. But yes, I didn't want to talk about the puzzles because they're just so good, so basic in many ways, but so difficult if you're not understanding your environment. This game rewards all of that exploration, taking your time, combing the area, and I love that about VR games. Man, that's why I think, you know, I love the game. Aside from it being terrifying, and that's cool, the fact that you have to look around in the dark, take your time, I felt. And when you're looking at notepads and stuff, I keep saying this, I didn't even use the interact button to look at a wall with newspapers on it. I would just look at the newspaper, walk up to it with my own, you know, face, and then stare at it. Everything's so sharp and clean. You don't need it to, you know, give you a text box beside you. You don't. Man, the PS VR2 headset and the clarity, the graphics in the game is incredible.
That is so small, but just to show you, I have this controller right up to my face, man, touching the visor, and you can read it, even though they give you the option to read it. And that looks so clean, so clean. See, it says here, I don't need it. I literally can read it, just like a real notepad. That's beautiful, man. That's so awesome. So awesome, but so terrifying. Wow. Do you see that right there with my fingers? For me, I can see it clearly, like the pen ran out of ink for a second.
So with horror games, I keep telling people, you know, with Resident Evil, yes, even if you don't like horror games, you got to play it, and you do for PSVR2. This one, I want to recommend it to you guys, but like I feel responsible if it does something to you. For real, you know, you should ask yourself, is this for me? Just from the standpoint, do I want to feel, and you will be assaulted from the senses. If that's what you're into, man, you get excited for that. This is your game.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, you son of a bitch. So I have to, like, avoid you. Wah! Wah! Oh, the way he runs at you is so fucked up. Oh.
Really, it's going to be way worse than what you think. And I went into this knowing it's the scariest game of all time. Yeah, I didn't realize that it was really well crafted. There's a difference of jump scares. You know, you can play games that just jump scare you and you don't know what to expect. This game has a really, really well done story. You know, the atmosphere, the timing, everything. The puzzles, I feel, are just right. Another handy tip I want to say you should know when you're playing on hard mode is it gives you a bit of a HUD if you grab an object such as your hammer. If I place my hammer and then touch it, you can see it's a disc. So obviously some sort of clock face or something goes in that area, not the hammer. So it's showing you a red light and it's showing you the shape of the object that you need. If you had the right object, it would glow green and as you're touching it. So that's how you know, man. So little things like that just to help you in the hard mode, because I do want people to play on hard, man. I do think you'll totally get the most out of it. When I went back onto normal just to try and get more trophies, I right away was like, oh man, yeah, not nearly as immersive. Just those floating hands, those floating magnifying glasses. It's really weird to say. The next thing I have to say is crank all your music up, everything, like, or just leave it at the default. But make sure that your headphones that you're using, you should use headphones for sure over earbuds just for the spatial audio. All headphones do support 3D audio from what I understand. It's just that the Pulse headphones or the Pulse Elite, they do have what's called Tempest audio. It's a patented Sony thing. And I did notice the difference in Pavlov, no joke, because I remember hearing footsteps a few feet away from me. And I didn't realize when I used the Pulse headphones, the footsteps were my footsteps and they actually lined up to me in game better than any other headphones that I'd used before. So I can speak to it, man, personally. That Tempest audio is really good. And I do recommend for the controls, I use my left PSVR2 Sense controller for movement. In room scale VR, what you do is, just like PSVR1, because I played the crap out of it, so this has been ingrained into me and it feels so natural, but I couldn't turn my body in PSVR. That's the difference. PSVR2, you have full body tracking. You can actually see everywhere.
VR options. Your dominant hand. I am right-handed. Forward direction, left. This is very important if you want room scale VR, and if you're right-handed like me, choose forward direction, left.
When you're holding your left controller, picture your arm when it's sitting up like this. I have to show you with my hand. Moving forward is at full speed. If I were to move forward with my left stick and slowly move my arm down, pointing towards the ground, he will walk slower. You can move slowly with the joystick, you can, but you can actually move slower when you're just pressing forward and then pushing your arm down more so. So you should be playing, like most room scale VR games, with your left hand, if you're right-handed, pointing forward against the side. That way, when you're moving your body completely 360 with your head, the whole body turns. If I'm keeping my arm straight while moving forward, you can look around just like that while moving forward. That's why you want these settings, and that's why it works for room scale. It forces you to use your body to fully turn. So that's how it works. In case you didn't know that, that's how it recognizes you turning your body and allowing you to move your head left and right. Man, it's so awesome. Literally feels so good. And this game is no exception when you can crouch to the ground fully without the actual camera popping you back up. I keep saying this about other VR games. So cool. I can look under the couch, man, literally, and not have it pop up and look for collectibles or things. Not going to spoil it. So yeah, not knowing anything about the game, when I was exploring the area the way I was in room scale VR with no hints, you have to admit, man, how open-ended is that? You have no idea what you're dealing with. No hints, no clues, nothing. You're just walking around, touching things, trying to feel things out, and then hearing audio cues sometimes too to lead you to it. It's amazing. It's amazing. So yeah, that's why I recommend it. And I really do think you will get the most out of Madison if you just follow these settings. And any of you guys out there, and I know there's a few of you that do play room scale, you know what I'm talking about. And you're probably like, yeah, man, because we got to get other people on board. Really, you have no idea how much more immersive any game can be at room scale if you can afford to do it room-wise. I get it. Not all of us have it, man. So I just had to get it out there. I know a lot of you have already seen people cover Madison, but I do want you to know there's a better way to play this game. And I don't think most of you are going to go to hard right away. And I do think you need to know you should. You really should. And it's totally doable. Again, my first time playing, I got the hard trophy and then the normal trophy immediately after because you played it on hard. As I'm showing you right here as proof.
Nice. Lived to tell the tale. Got my gold trophy. Oh, right on. The nightmare is over. Gold trophy. Oh, that means double whammy, guys. I played hard mode first just to prove it.
But oh man, I don't think I'm going to get the platinum. Some of these trophies actually speak to surviving certain levels within a small amount of time. And once you know what to do, yes, you can rip through it. But I haven't tried it yet, actually. I went through a couple of them, but I don't want to have to play it a third or fourth time if I don't get that trophy, and you're already saved through. That's the thing with the autosave feature. Once you've cleared a level, I can't go back and load the older level. So yeah, man, I hate to say it. I had to look up 2 puzzles, and I don't want to tell you which ones, but I'm going to tell you, after looking it up, I was like, oh man, I should have known better. And I mean that literally. It's like either checking your inventory for an item or looking around in your environment or waiting for an audio cue. No joke. That's it. Like, it really is like that. If you just take your time and look at your surroundings. And I do think some of you on YouTube as well have said that the controls don't feel that natural playing the game, but I have seen you play seated or standing, not moving. So I do feel with my control setup, It might totally transform how you actually feel about the game. If you give it a shot, please do, man. If you guys like the video I produced today, please click that like button. And if you love what I'm doing with the channel, please subscribe to it. And for all of you that have subscribed to my channel, man, thank you so much. I super appreciate it.